Hold on, stop. Welcome back to the Shit Show 2.0.
Okay, boomer.
Damn millennials. Wow.
Did not know that. Even flirters who are obviously mentally ill.
Oh, this is gonna go downhill real quick.
What is going on? And welcome to Take on the World
With Johnny D.
with Mr. Johnny
Rocket.
Clausen and Lexi.
Hello.
And we had two podcast therapy dogs here, and they are
Gone.
gone.
They're upstairs killing an intruder.
Yeah, probably.
No, they're probably into the hot dogs on the countertop up there.
I pushed them back pretty far.
Coco can't get up that high, and Ollie won't climb on top of her.
Oh, wouldn't that be some shit? She jumped on Coco's back.
Yeah.
It was like, teamwork.
No.
That'd be pretty funny,
That'd be not
honestly.
funny. Not funny at all. So here we are on another exciting episode of Take on the World.
In the dungeon.
And you know what we decided to do this week? What I decided to do this week?
Do you know? Did you research?
I decided to attack Thomas Edison again. Because I really don't like Thomas Edison.
And the more I read about him, he's kind of a slimy dude.
Yeah.
Slime ball.
And you know what, like, I think that's, like, part of growing up and, you know, like, learning is reading things about people that you might have learned about in school when you were a kid and realizing, like, okay, things might be a little bit different than what I thought. Like, I think that's part of evolving.
That electrocutes an elephant is not my friend.
No.
Like, that dude should just get his balls trampled by a fucking elephant.
Yeah, I should.
Wow.
Just stomped on, boom.
Boom, 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 boom.
And then 10 years later, get his arm.
That
So,
is
like, sequentially, throughout the years, just get limbs, like, stomped on by an elephant.
Yeah.
And then finally ending up with a stupid head. That's just how I feel.
okay.
We all have opinions.
Yeah, just let it out, bro. We'll let it out.
I truly believe that.
Do you?
Yes.
With your gay ass truly drink?
You do you, girl.
Hi! So wait, before we get started in this, anything exciting happened this week? And then my week was kind of
I had a stomach virus.
gangrene.
She had gangrene of the stomach.
Yeah, it was gross. It was pretty bad.
Isn't that weird? Like in the middle of summer.
Mm-hmm.
You think it was food poisoning?
That's what I said, and he said I don't think it's food poisoning. It's
I'm not sure if I've ever had-
gastroenteritis.
Food poisoning or not?
I've had food poisoning.
But I've heard it's horrible.
It is. Projectile vomiting,
I had.
projectile diarrhea.
I
Well,
got.
that's how it started for me. Was the projectile vomiting.
I got something from work, and I remember this is the only thing I can relate it to. I was walking in behind somebody, and he walked over this steam pipe, and there was a puddle of water on the floor, and his boot splashed up it, and it went in my mouth. And it was like a week
You got
later.
giardia.
Dude, I swear to God, that's what I thought it was. I went to the doctors. I was sick for like 3 weeks. Like, just, I could not throw up anymore. I was just curled up in the fetal position in the bathroom. It felt like somebody was just stabbing me in the stomach with knives. It was so painful. And then I got all these tests done, and like, we don't know, that's not giardia. It's not, you're fine.
Wow.
Well, John, I think I speak for everyone when I say I'm sorry that happened to you.
Oh, yeah. Well, sure you are.
I am.
But, anywho, I walked, what was it, not Friday, it was Wednesday, Thursday. I took a 4-mile walk each day, and my heels are fucking shot. The blisters on them are nasty.
I told you, don't wear those new boots the second time you went.
I did.
No.
Oh,
I got like halfway in, I'm like, yeah, woo!
I got this. Oh,
And I'm like,
shit.
oh, I can't find it. By the end of it, I was like,
Yeah, that's how I was when I got my new hiking boots.
oh, it's horrible.
Where did you hike?
I went by Blue Marsh.
Okay.
So it's right by work. So you can hit the Stillen Basin, and
Yeah.
it's nice. It's in the shade, and it's not too hard. But when you're wearing nice new boots that are hard as a rock and sandpaper socks,
I did the Pinnacle.
that's a
New
tough
boots.
one.
New boots.
This,
I did the Pinnacles in
That was
Chucks once.
Good.
Mistake. Like, I didn't get blisters, but because you know how the Pinnacles are
What about-
rocky.
Yeah, yeah.
What about these? They're just like Chucks.
I wouldn't wear those.
I would. most comfortable shoe I've ever had.
Yeah, but when you're jumping
need
from rock to
something-
rock,
yeah.
so it's just like constantly like punching you in the bottom of the foot.
Yeah.
And it's just like I need more padding in my shoe.
I love my boots now, but I've worn them on like several hikes, and I just wear them sometimes, like if it's like raining or whatever, because I have
Yeah.
the water resistant on them. But I think
that's
I
gonna
want to
be
get
my-
Dr. Scholl's for them. That's what I think I'm gonna do, like insert.
See, now I have Dr. Scholl's in these shoes right now, and the only problem I have with them is they're not wide enough. So there's like a little space at each end. So if you really start to walk and the ground gets uneven, like your foot like kind of like drops into that.
It kind of just
that
sounds like
space.
you might have fat feet.
I do have that. I never did, but I do. Like my hiking boots for double E, extra wide.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so I might not have that problem because I think they have ones that are supposed to be for wide feet, but if you're having an issue where those aren't wide enough.
Yeah, so they're
I might
comfortable
be
unless like the other day I was walking on the grass like this. So it was like slightly on an incline.
Yeah.
And it was just like these shoes were worthless. I might as well just took them off and walk barefoot.
Which honestly might have been better.
So Lex might not know this, but John and I have purchased our tickets for our flight to Colorado.
I heard you say that the other day.
Everything's falling into place.
Nice.
We just need to get that one night hotel or whatever B&B.
And the car.
In the car, and we're set. So I told him
Why does that bug always come around right when we start?
Because
of the lights.
That's true.
We need that salt shooter.
You would
Got
never
him.
get it.
Got him.
You got him.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Talent.
So this week, we're getting into a topic, and as Lexi said, we are going to shit on
Kind of harkens back to our last topic.
Thomas
One of
Edison.
our last topics.
Yes.
He truly deserves it.
If one would ask you who invented the motion pictures, yeah, I'm a movie file. Like I love movies.
Yes.
I watch tons of movies. John, you've watched a bunch of movies. You're not quite as much of a movie file as me, but you found a couple that I liked that I didn't know about, and you found one that was the most horrible movie that's ever been made. And you
What was
wanted
it
to watch
called?
It was called The Man Who Shot Bigfoot and then
The
killed
Man Who
Hitler.
Killed
Hitler and then
and
shot
Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Deathbed, The Bed That Eats?
No.
It is
Sounds like my bed.
insane. I'm planning on buying it on Amazon, but I've known about it for years.
What year did it come out?
It's an old movie.
Have you checked just speaking to the thing and see if maybe it comes up on another thing?
I'll have to check since we have that now. But I think I watched it on YouTube or I found it and downloaded it somewhere sketchy. But it is so awful. It's like an old horror movie, like black and white horror movie.
I gotta download a couple Rohiles onto my phone so I can listen to it while we're flying. So anyway, so the birth of moving pictures. So the first person to publicly exhibit a motion picture were the Lumière brothers. You know, the little guys with the flames on their hands from Beauty and the Beast.
Les poissons. Oh, I love les poissons. Whatever it is.
Les croissants.
She say croissant. Make me
Croissant.
hungry.
Realistically, Thomas Edison is usually given the credit for it,
Yes.
for his quote invention of the world standard 35mm film
Really?
stock.
Yep.
All right. Side note: I love the 35mm camera and film. Side note: my sister beat me for a bunch of money when we were like 16 or 17, and she had a Nikon 35mm camera, just a simple setup, and I took it from her. She's like, "Yeah, I want my camera back." I'm like, "You never use it, and you owe me like $50, so
like,
upset." And I had
You
that
stole
camera.
from your sister.
I had that camera. She stole from me a lot. I told you what she did with them fucking coins. God bless her soul. I love my sister to death. But yeah, anyway, that's another story. So anyways, I wound up with the camera. Actually, I don't think she really...
You want me to edit that out?
And I love that fucking camera. I took some of the best fucking pictures. I have like big frame pictures that I took to a place and they blew them up and printed them out. But that thing took amazing pictures.
Did you develop the film yourself?
No. I did take a class on developing film
Me too. I like
in
that.
high school. That was
Me
cool.
too.
They had that like rotating door.
Yeah.
And so me and my buddies would go in there and be like, "Beat me up, Scotty."
Yep.
Like through the door.
Yeah, that's what we
So
used to
stupid.
do.
Bunch of fucking nerds.
Yep. Well, I took screen printing. I took
Yeah. Me too.
video editing.
I did not take video editing. I took
Screen printing
web
was fun.
design. I took web design.
No, I didn't do that. The screen printing was fun.
Web design's
somewhere-
probably after your time.
I made, yeah, I think so. But I made a big pamphlet of the Misfits logo, the skull logo,
Yeah.
on like the post-it notes.
hmm
So somewhere we had like a shitload of these things. I don't know where the fuck they ended. We probably used them all. Like, well,
We made like
so-
our own notepads.
Yep.
And we did the designs on the notepad.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Mhm.
I made a couple. I made a Dead Kennedy shirt.
Nice.
What else? A Casualty shirt. But yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of
We
fun.
did like the school, like different clubs would do fundraisers. We made like the fundraiser shirts. And stuff like that,
Oh, okay.
like in class.
Yeah, okay.
But that's how we learned to make them.
That's awesome.
hmm
I kind of miss that shit when you're like, you just have all the tools like there, and
Yeah.
like you just go to a class and like, all right, kids, like we got this teacher there, we're gonna show you how to do this, and
Yeah. I
you
wish I
just
had
let
that
your
for
head go
adults.
and just fucking do it.
Yeah, I wish I had that for an adult.
Yeah. Well, some things they do, like at the in Reading at the Goggle Works,
Mhm.
they have glass blowing.
Yeah, I'd love to do that
I think
sometime.
they have like knife making.
You'd love to blow glass.
I just love to blow. But
Well, you could take a blacksmith course down here in Hamburg.
Oh, I took a blacksmith course. Isaiah and I did with, I believe it was the Drunken Smithy.
Yeah.
They do.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they do the workshops at the Renaissance Fair and stuff.
I'd
Oh, that's cool.
like to do that.
Yeah.
That was really fun.
The glass blowing, I know it's expensive as shit. It's like this was like years ago. I think it was like $250 a class,
Yeah.
but that's for like you get like 6 or 7 sessions or something like that.
You get blown 6 or 7 times.
Yeah. But it's a legit like thing.
In
like-
retrospect, it's not really that much.
So,
like
yeah.
blowing a
I like
glass
that kind of
bomb.
stuff. I like
But you're not allowed to make that.
I like hands-on stuff. I like doing stuff, and
like apprenticeship trades stuff.
I
Like,
gotta finish making that door. Speaking of hands-on,
so, but anyway,
back to the topic at hand.
another art.
Shaman.
Film.
Shaman.
Cinematography. Moving pictures.
So this is Lexi's topic, so I'll let you run with
Oh,
it.
I've never finished the rest of that story.
Oh, we'll go back and finish
Oh
it.
my
I
god.
ended up-
35 millimeter,
I was
stolen
going,
coins.
I was going on stolen treasure, swashbuckling pirates. I had the 35 mil, and I was going on this boat. We were on a vacation, and I stepped on the boat, and like I stumbled, and I did not have the thing around my neck. And I dropped it, boom, and it snapped the freaking lens off of it. I'm like, oh, you fucking sucker!
Nice.
So through the years, I've inherited about 3 or 4 35 millimeter cameras, but they're so old. They work, but they need to be clean.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's and it's hard finding a 35 millimeter camera film, but
Yeah.
I love it.
They're really
I'm not
nice.
into the digital shit. I like
I
the
like
old school
both.
shit.
I like both. I think you can get very crisp, clear pictures, and I like being able to have those printed out in a way where it resembles.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? That way you have like that clear crispness, and the pictures back then, a lot of them did, if you had like the correct lenses and all that.
Proper
that's what's
lighting.
Right.
The
That's
thing
what's
about
important.
digital, it'll take up for some of your.
Right. So I like the
Dramaticness.
look, and I like
Right.
I
well,
like being able to know how to do it.
right.
You know what I mean? Like
right.
I like keeping
I
that
think that was the
traditional
part
live,
with
but
like
I would
couldn't-
prefer
like
usually.
the digital was so hard for me to figure out because I was so used to. It's simple. Like you set the aperture and the
Yep.
timing, and there was a green or red light. That's it. Sometimes you had to guess, but out of like a roll of film, you would get like 1 or 2 good pictures, maybe. And then there was one I went to this fort in North Carolina, and it was an ammo dump where they kept all the cannonballs and shit. And I walked down the hallway, and you see the light coming in, and it was like pitch dark to me. And I set the aperture to infinity, and I held it for like 10 seconds, And somehow I didn't move, and the picture came out like crystal clear.
Wow.
I took like 4 or 5 of those pictures, and one of them turned out like perfect. That blew it up. It's like this big. I have to show it to you. It's really cool.
Yeah, that's really nice. That was cool. That's cool. I like that stuff. So yeah, I chose this topic because I wanted to keep bashing on Thomas Edison. I thought it was funny.
That piece of poop, Thomas Edison.
Yeah, he's now. I mean, I guess he did some stuff.
What he basically took
Worked on
other people's inventions and improved on them.
right because he
People
had
who work for him,
the resources.
yeah.
Yeah, he's a slimy rich businessman.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm glad that he improved on them, but I wish he would have done it a different way.
Well, that's how he screwed what's his face over?
Tesla.
Like, you don't understand American humor. I'm not giving you 50 thou.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and that's what I was going to say. Even though Thomas Edison is known for all these things, but really, like people like Tesla and this gentleman we're about to talk about, really should be getting the credit and don't.
So, without further ado, let's give them their credit.
So, Lexi.
So, I want to talk about the real father of motion picture, Louis Le Prince.
Not to be confused with Louis Lapointe.
No.
I don't think anybody would.
No.
Do you know Louis Lapointe?
Obviously not.
I do. That's her Uncle Lucy.
That's my Uncle Lucy. So, Louis Le Prince was a French inventor. He was born in Metz, France, August 28th, 1841. He made what is arguably.
Did he? Did he argue a lot?
He argued so much. He
argued, son of a bitch.
Made what is arguably the biggest innovative leap anyone in the history of art or entertainment has ever. He was the first to actually make moving pictures. They would move in place.
So his family called him Augustine, and his friends called him Gus. Where did the Augustine and Gus come from?
His full name is Louis Ami Augustine Le Prince.
Okay, so we're gonna call him Gus because we're friends.
Yeah.
All right.
I feel like we would have been friends.
Yeah, so
Surely.
Gussie.
Gus.
Oh, Gus.
So his father was a major of artillery in the French army.
What? So he never shot a gun,
So
and
he waved a white flag around.
Stop. He grew up hanging out in the studio of the photographer Louis-Jacques Daguerre.
Wow.
Daguerre?
Sure.
It was a friend of his father's. And he received lessons in photography and chemistry.
I wonder if he went into the dark room through the circular door.
Is it
Scotty?
Probably.
Most likely.
Probably. I don't see how he could not have. I mean, that
Leave
was...
me up, Gus.
Gus. And the mouse from Cinderella, the little fat mouse. Yep. He studied painting in Paris and postgraduate chemistry at Leipzig University. He moved to Leeds, England, in the UK in 1866. 3 years later, he married Elizabeth Whitley.
Well, Elizabeth Whitley was a friend, or a sister of his friend.
Yes.
He owned some sort of brass company, and that's where he was working. Gussie was working at the brass company.
He owned a company that made truck nuts.
He worked for his girlfriend's his friend's girlfriend's sister's friend's company.
Truck nuts.
But he became friends with the guy who owned the company because he's interacted with him several times throughout his life, but specifically because it's his brother-in-law once he gets married. But
Right.
So that's how he met her, through working at her. His friend owned a company that he worked for, met his sister. Bang, bang, shoot him up, rock on.
Yeah. So he and his wife started a school in Leeds. It was the Leeds Technical School of Art. It was for applied arts. They started that in 1871. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, to start something like that in the 1800s? I feel like that's pretty cool. Like, that's when this stuff was starting to become more popular, like, more available to people, instead of just being industrialized.
I assume his chemistry school is probably for more like developing film.
I think so. Developing film has a lot of different chemicals and a lot of different. They probably used a lot of different chemicals back then to develop film.
Either develop film or make meth.
Right.
One or the other is a win-win.
I mean, it's a lose for somebody.
A lose for somebody, not Louis Vitale. What's his name?
Gus.
Louis Le Prince.
Gus.
Le Prince.
Gus.
The Prince of Leeds.
He became well known for fixing coloring in photography because he went to his chemistry school to make meth.
Yeah, cause you use meth. Here's what you do: you take a picture, you make some
smoke meth.
If you want,
you blow it a piece of metal, and you put it on. They would affix a color portrait or color picture to metal and pottery, which was like groundbreaking at the time. But they used meth to do it, and not many people know that.
No, I don't know. That's something that
standard now.
We just learned today from John.
John, thanks, John.
Yeah. So they did portraits of Queen Victoria and the Prime Minister William Gladstone. And they were produced in that manner, and they were placed in a time capsule.
Yeah, I didn't know time capsules were a thing back then.
Yeah. Well, you gotta think, like, this is, like, the late 1800s. They're going into the 1900s into, like, the Victorian age.
True.
You ever put a time capsule in the ground?
Yeah.
Yeah?
We did it at my elementary school.
That's cool. You?
I put stuff in the ground.
Not bodies, Michael.
Technically, that could be considered a time capsule because once they find it...
Won't everybody be surprised when it gets dug up, though?
You know what? Speaking of that, I always thought about if I had my own house, I wanted to get a fake skeleton from the Halloween store, just buried underneath buried underneath my deck. So the next person that digs in there, oh my god! What the fuck?
Poor cement just had the finger sticking up.
I'm gonna do it.
Oh man. So, in 1881, Gus went to the United States, and an agent.
He was an agent for the Whitney partners.
Right, for his
brother.
wife's brother.
Yeah, brother-in-law.
Who's also his friend.
Yes.
I'm just going to say right now, I'm kind of confused. There's a lot of names getting thrown around right now.
Actually, only 3 names. Only 3.
I'm just going to say, I'm kind of confused. Meth, names, Gus.
So he went to the United States as an agent for his brother-in-law's partnership. And he and his family stayed in the United States when the contract ended. He became the manager of a small group of French artists who produced large panoramas. They usually depicted famous battles, and they were exhibited in New York City and Washington, D.C.
Famous white flags.
I went through and tried to find these panoramas, and I could not. Like they showed a picture of one on one of the videos I watched, but I couldn't. When I searched the internet for it, I just didn't know. I guess I didn't know how to search. I was too stupid to figure it out.
The site's white flag.
But I did see panoramas. Now I don't know if the panoramas that I saw, some of them were depicting French battles, not so much American battles. So I thought maybe those were it. I don't know, but I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah, I wish that we could find some of them.
Well, all kidding aside, If it weren't for the French, the Americans would have never won
No.
the revolution.
No, we wouldn't.
So, thank you, Frenchies.
And we wouldn't have French fries. So,
Yeah.
Another bonus.
Or we'd have poutine.
Love poutine.
We should drive to Canada just for some poutine.
You don't have to go to Canada.
You can go to
Yes, you do.
Allentown.
You go-
Bethlehem.
No,
Flying V. No, listen to me. They are from Canada.
No.
Michigan.
You got to eat it in Canada for the first time.
I've had it already.
Yeah, I've already had it.
Oh,
So
you're gay.
yeah, so it's too late now. Anyway,
Ship wagon. All right. Come on.
in
You guys are
Bethlehem, there is a restaurant called the Flying V, and it's a poutine restaurant ran by Canadians.
Right. And if it's Canadians or French Canadians, it's not V for victory.
It's geese.
Oh, that makes sense.
You know why the Flying V, one side's longer than
Yes.
the other?
Yeah.
Shut up. I hate both of you.
It's because one of them wanted to fly on that side.
No, there's more ducks on one side than the other.
Yeah.
So you're slightly right. You said it in more of an intelligent way that retards don't understand.
That was a hard R right there.
Retards. You retard? No, I'm retard. No, you're a retard.
So these panoramics, doing this, being this manager, gave him the idea to make something that was more immersive than just,
I'm not touching it.
I didn't poison it.
well, it doesn't belong with the beer.
I will not touch a truly.
You like held your hand out. Like, what am I? Should I grab it?
You look like you're ready to hand it to me.
Yeah, you started moving it.
I do like.
And then I
I do
realized
like that. You know when you do this when you're at work. Just like take something random and just hand it to somebody, and they'll always take it. I did it to a guy who worked the other day. It was a tube of caulk, and I handed it to him, and he grabbed it. He's like, "What the fuck do I want with this?" I'm like, "I don't know. I just handed it to you."
was it Moser?
Tube of cock.
It's the black cock.
So he wanted to make something that was more immersive for pictures. He began experiments using and relating to the production of moving pictures. He designed a camera that utilized 16 lenses.
You want to see a picture of that?
Yeah, put a picture up. I thought it was down
Do
further.
we have a choice?
I thought it was down
Look
further.
at that fucking thing.
Yeah, it used 16 lenses.
And what in the hell do you do with that?
What?
Are those circles the lenses?
Yes.
Mhm.
Where do you look through it?
I don't know.
They really didn't too much. They just kind of like looked at it. And like also a lot of the video, the first video that was ever created by Louis Prince is a video of his family in like the backyard.
Did it come out clear?
You
It's
can
a
find it. You can find it
video,
online.
Yeah, it's
You
online now.
didn't put pudding in there?
Did I put pudding on it?
Did you put the?
You did say, did you put pudding in there?
I said you didn't put any of the pictures on there.
The video, no, I didn't.
I know I get ahead of myself. I speak in tongues.
What the fuck did any of that mean?
He wanted to know if I
wanted
took
to
the
know.
video of.
No, not the video. I wanted to know if your dad put the pictures of Gus in the backyard with his family on there.
It's a video.
It's a video.
It's
a moving picture.
a moving picture.
Okay.
Like it's
You
the
still could
first
have
moving.
taken shots of it.
Do
You
you
can find it online.
if anybody remembers when we did our horror movie podcast,
Mm-hmm.
and I talked about the first horror movie,
Yes.
Milieu.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it was like short. It was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it was like 12 seconds.
Yeah, and I was like, how the fuck can you make a horror movie that's 12 seconds long?
Well, that one was 30. That was under a minute.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
I didn't see that one.
You didn't?
Mm-mm.
It was
George-
like number 3.
Jorge Milieu.
Is it the same guy
So-
in this?
No, but he's from around the same time. So when shortly after this, when they started making movies, he made the first horror movie.
Yes. And everything happened kind of quickly after he passed away.
Yes. Well, within 3 years. Actually, it was within 7 years, and there's a reason for that. Did you know what the reason is?
For everything happening within 7 years?
Yes.
Oh.
We'll get to it at the bottom.
Anyway.
Don't get ahead of yourself, girl.
You're getting ahead of yourself. So, this camera that he designed had 16 lenses. It was the first invention that he ever patented.
So when he filed a patent for this, he filed it in France and he filed it in UK.
Yes.
And he later filed a patent in the United States. But the patent, it became problematic later on in life after he died when there was lawsuits. Because in that time, he was talking about a camera. And in the patents, he mentions camera, and they think still pictures in the camera. So some of his patents weren't held up because of,
they didn't
number one, it's 16 lenses on his first patent, and the camera that he eventually makes after that, this only has 2 lenses.
But he says,
or single lens.
He says there's a wording in the patent that I would argue is.
Well, it leaves him able to expand upon his idea. That's
right.
The wording that was in there. But the U.S. patent was never changed to that.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah. So. So what?
He was very critical of himself.
Right.
What was that?
That was me. I bought my thing. So the 16 lens camera, when he would get the video from, or the moving picture from it.
Right.
The problem would be is each one of those lenses is at a slightly different angle to the subject.
Right, obviously, because they can't all be on top of each other.
Right. So the picture was very jumpy. He did not like the quality of the picture.
Yes.
And so while he did film the first motion picture, it was not to his liking because he was a perfectionist.
Yeah, so he was very critical of himself, and I think the thing that confuses me about it is it's nobody has ever seen this before. This is completely new. This is not something that's ever happened before. How can you be so critical of it?
Right, and that, actually, one of the videos I watched, they said the same thing. That if I was able to present something that nobody's ever seen before,
right? I think I would be so proud.
But he was an artist.
Exactly.
And he was an artist at heart, and artists are very hard in their own work.
Right. Vision?
It wasn't perfect. It wasn't what he had imagined.
I can see that. You have an idea in your head, and you don't meet that idea, and you don't like it.
Right. That's how I am.
Yeah, that's how I am too.
So in 1886, his teenage daughter, Marie LaPrince, said that she remembers him projecting moving pictures on a wall in their workshop 2 years prior to Edison even began conceptualizing motion picture designs. So before Edison even had a thought about moving pictures, Marie LaPrince had this video that I had talked about of his family projected on their workshop wall. So in 1886, he had to return to Leeds, England. And I forget exactly why it was he went. I think he went specifically to bring his things over or something like that. He went over to make money. He thought he could do better in the UK or something like that with his art.
They said that he moved back to Leeds. He was motivated to basically hide out.
Yeah,
and
to work on it.
Because there was people trying to steal his work. Even back then, industrial espionage was a big thing.
Actually, I would say especially back then.
We know it was a big thing because that's all Edison did.
Right.
J.P. Morgan did it. Edison did it. Westinghouse did it.
Mm-hmm.
The only one who didn't do it was Tesla.
Right. That shit carried over into the 40s with the atomic bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the entire Cold War.
Yeah, you had Russian scientists coming over and they put sticky tape on the bottom of their shoes, would walk around in the plant, and they would get the filings from the metal they were using.
Yep.
Take it back and analyze it, and oh, okay, they're using this metal and that metal, and
right. So he was going to work on this. back in Leeds. And an updated version of his model was used to shoot his motion picture film.
That's the garden film.
Yes. It was first used on October 14th, 1888, to shoot what would become as known as Round Hay Garden Scene.
So they know it was that date
Yes.
because one of the women who was in the movie, I guess his mother-in-law,
Probably. Yes, I believe so.
died 10 days after it was shot.
Yes.
And they actually came to court with the death certificate,
Yep.
saying, look, I can prove it because here she died 10 days later, so it has to be before the day she died, which was 24th.
Right, exactly. And they knew, obviously, based on when all this was happening, that this wasn't years prior.
Right.
Which, I mean, even so, that'd be really, you could just be like, yeah, this was like 20 years ago, bro.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, I've been doing this for years. I don't know. And it was his son Adolf was also playing the accordion in that movie, which is pretty fun. Accordions are pretty cool.
My grandpapa used to play the accordion.
Pretty cool. The prince later used it to film road traffic and pedestrians crossing Leeds Bridge. The film was shot from Hicks in the Ironmongers, now the British Waterways building, on the southeast side of the bridges. It's now marked with a commemorative blue plaque.
So these blue plaques there's a permanent sign in the UK that commemorates some famous person, event, a former building site, or some historical thing happened at that location.
Right.
And I have a picture of that to throw up. I don't have it in my file, but I have the blue plaque up so you can see what it is. It's just like the plaque down here for the fort. Mm-hmm. It's, we do the same thing here. They just have a design that they use for every one of them.
Right, so they're all the same.
Yeah.
So he, as soon as he broke this fantastic new ground with his new moving picture, Lou the Prince and his family were ecstatic to set up a showcase of Round Hay Garden Scene in their mansion in New York.
So this is key because he wanted to go to New York and show this film. He wanted to show the world what he did, what he created.
Hey, look, it's a film of my dog shit in the backyard.
Exactly.
Right, but because of what happens after this, he never gets to show that film.
No.
So now they say,
really?
No. There was never any open public displays of any of his work.
No.
He had private displays in his house. Mm-hmm. His kids remember it. Mm-hmm. And they also did show the film unofficially on March 30th, 1890 at the National Opera in Paris. And Ferdinand Mauboussin, the Secretary of the National Opera, confirmed this with an affidavit in court.
Yes.
That he did indeed show a moving picture in the opera house.
Yes.
But it wasn't open to the public. And what he wanted to do is he wanted to do an Edison. He wanted to make a mass spectacle of it, have the media and the press there so everybody could say, holy crap, look at that. That's something we've never seen before.
Right. And I think the other problem too is that he wanted to show people, but he also still was like, could be better.
Was he gaslighted by Edison?
Well,
we're getting there. There you go, jumping ahead of you.
God damn it.
I'm going to gaslight you.
So, he had a couple problems he wanted to fix before he took it over there.
Yes.
The one problem was he was filming on a light-sensitive paper, and it wasn't very durable, so it didn't lend itself to repeated viewings.
Like, you could probably view it, once or
maybe twice, and you'd have to film something else.
Right.
So he came up with using celluloid to capture the film, which I think they still use it today.
I thought you said celluloid.
Yes, no. I believe so.
Some of that fat off the back of your neck, bitch.
If you watch, what movie was that? Is it Inglourious Bastards where they burned down the
film house? Yeah.
It was, the stuff was very flammable.
Right.
But you could use it over and over and over and over again.
Yes.
So
that's such a good movie. So he wanted to get that to work. He wanted to make something.
And he did. He came up with
Mhm.
something, and
Yep.
it worked.
Yes. So in 1890, he was preparing for his trip back to the U.S. to show the world his breakthrough. While he did have this patented in France and the UK, this is what you were saying before, none of the patents covered him in the U.S.
They weren't thorough enough to even cover him there, because what he was doing was so groundbreaking.
They didn't know how to
interpret, like, it's camera. They think camera, still picture. So when he said camera in the thing, like, so he was actually working on fixing those patents before he left.
Right, and I think another thing too is he's probably like, man, I don't have this all worked out yet. I don't want people to know what I'm working on, but I have to patent it some way.
Yeah.
And I think he probably thought that a camera with 16 lenses is probably a wide enough array that even if the picture is not still, I can get away with it. Which, got away with it for a while, it just wasn't enough to help him.
By this time, he had the single lens camera made.
Yes. And this was something different.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's what he's trying to transport at this time. So before he left for New York, he returned to France to visit in Dijon.
The home of mustard.
Dijon.
The home of mustard.
Dijon.
At this point, was he visiting his brother?
I don't know why brother didn't go in there.
Okay, so this is his brother. What was his brother's name? Albert?
I'll be sure.
I think his name's Albert. I can't remember though.
Al Qaeda.
So he's visiting his brother at this point.
His brother Al Qaeda in Dijon. With a Cuban sandwich.
On September 16th, he took a train to Paris, but he took a later trip than planned. His friends missed him in Paris.
So he was supposed to meet people. And actually, I think it was supposed to be in Dijon.
I think.
Yeah,
he was traveling
from Paris to Dijon, and he had friends meeting him at the train station when he got there. But because he took a later train, they said, fuck it, he's not coming."
Yeah,
John's late again.
Yeah.
What was he sitting on the train with, like a bunch of Dijon mustard? I misunderstood the assignment. Oh, sorry.
Could be you. I'm not 100% sure because I know that he was taking a train back to Paris before he went back to the United States at one point too.
So now he visits with his brother.
Yes.
His brother takes him back to the train station. He goes to get on the train to go back. His brother is the last one to see him at the Dijon station.
Yes.
And pardon me, sir. Do you have any grape fun?
He was going back to Leeds to pick up his equipment and then go to the U.S.
Yes.
That was the last time he was seen.
That was the last time he was seen. His brother was the only one that can confirm that he got on that train.
Guilty.
There's no one else that saw him get on the train.
It was his brother who killed him.
And, like, obviously, like, you're on a train with how many other passengers, you're not looking at, one guy that gets on the train.
No.
So, like, the people on the train couldn't, say, oh, yeah, maybe he just got off before he was supposed to, or, you know what I mean? Like, nobody could confirm any of this stuff. So he disappeared with his suitcase, and it's said to have held some very important paperwork, including his patents, which he was fixing.
Yep.
To further secure his place in history as the inventor of moving pictures. In a missing person case, patents cannot be used even by surviving spouse, and prevented his wife from commercializing the machine for 7 years.
So, I invent something, at least back then.
Yeah.
I invent something. I patent it.
Mm-hmm.
I die.
Yeah.
And my family cannot benefit from my patent because it's in my name.
Yes.
And I just think, and that's why 7 years was such a big number. Yes. Edison heard about what was happening.
That's right. I didn't remember that it was 7 years, but I did remember that.
Edison heard about what he was doing, and that's when he got the idea, well, hold it.
Yeah.
Moving pictures?
Yeah.
What a wonderful idea.
Yeah.
And so then he starts working on it.
Yeah, he put on his bowler cap, his black bowler cap and cape. and went and stole anything that he
gotta
could.
wait for it to if it weren't for you meddling kids.
Exactly. Which I think it's really funny now because, you know, he's saying, like, I want to secure my place in history as the creator of this. And I suppose for years and years and many, many years, he was not recognized like that.
Well,
but
even in film school, they don't teach him as the inventor of the moving picture.
Which I think is really weird because now it seems like all this information is online. Like, we have all this information about him. Why can we not, you know, just say, yeah, he kind of deserves it more. You know what I mean?
I give Gus all the credit.
Yeah, I think so too.
Good job, Gussie.
So that's the mother-in-law. Edison's earliest film was not even shot until 3 years later in 1891.
So that's what I'm saying. He heard about this. He goes, "Oh wow,
yeah."
Another opportunity.
Let's make this guy disappear." And so we'll get to the theories, but there's a couple things going on here at this time. At this time, he's almost broke.
Right.
He has
no money.
No money. His mother passed away, and he was living on. He thought he could continue to live on the inheritance, and the money wasn't able to be released as soon as he thought it was. So, like,
which is why he left.
He was struggling for money.
And I think it's also like, I don't know. There's just so much going on at this point. Like, he's on the run. He can't get the money he needs. I think there's like a letter that he wrote to his family.
Yes.
Like saying, you know, like, I'm sorry, like, I can't give you more money. I'm sorry that you're still working so hard.
I wish this letter enclosed money.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have to work as hard, but at this time, there's no money to give you.
Right.
That's pretty much what the letter said.
And, like, I don't know, like, I think it's kind of great that, like, his wife was like, all right, like, let's do this, like, let's both work, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, I didn't read anything about her being, like, you know, overly, you know, angry or anything about it. Like, it didn't seem like she had any kind of, like, bad connotations or
not to him, but she was very angry at Edison.
Oh, absolutely. But
because Edison then took him to court.
Yes, exactly.
Well, actually, I think the family took Edison to court and lost, and then eventually it was overturned.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But so the theories on his disappearance. Now, John, since you did no research whatsoever, if you had to theorize about any of this, what
would your theories be?
What would you
say? Squatchy got him.
Squatchy got him. Okay.
No,
that's a new one.
What I was thinking was, honestly, how easy it is to kill somebody back then.
Yes.
No cameras, no cell phones. But it'd be so easy.
Yeah.
To push the fucker off a train or just have some random knife him.
Yep.
Steal his shit, whatever. You know, so I wouldn't doubt it if that cocksucker fucking had some of his goons kill him and steal his shit, and then he reaps all the benefits of all of his you know, video making and this and that.
Right, because as we know, he's not been far off from that prior.
Oh yeah, he fucked over Tesla. Mm-hmm. You know, basically put him out of business, but he's already shown that he shows no lengths he shows no means of stopping, and he will go to great lengths to get what the fuck he wants.
Right.
So,
and it doesn't matter who's in his way.
This was just a few years ago. I don't know exactly how long. I don't have the date on here. This Alexis Bedford was a grad student in New York. He found some interesting documents in the archive in the New York Library. As Bedford relates it, he was turning through some papers that were Thomas Edison's work with lighting methods, and he stumbled across a dilapidated leather-bound book. In the book, he found a small entry dated September 20th, 1890, in Edison's own handwriting, and it read, "Eric called me today from Dijon. It has been done. Prince is no more. This is good news, but I flinched when he told me. Murder is not my thing. I'm an inventor, and my inventions..."
Unless you're an elephant.
Yeah. "My inventions for moving image can now move forward."
Nah, he's a piece of crap.
Yeah.
So this goes back to me.
What happened.
Now,
this goes back to me. Did he gaslight fucking Gus, like make him his friend, with the intentions of burning him in the end?
No, he knew.
No.
Prince knew that Edison was not his friend.
Okay.
He knew that was his competition, and that's why he went back to Leeds, and he was hiding out in Leeds while he was trying to perfect things.
I mean, it all makes sense if he's going out to hide out from people who are trying to steal his shit.
Right.
Edison's a very powerful man. He's probably got fucking his tentacles reach far and wide.
According to the diary, Edison admitted to being happy the prince was gone, but also emphasized he did not kill the Frenchman.
It sounds like a guilty conscience to me.
It does to me too. Like, honestly,
for sure.
No empathy. I'm just sad he's dead, but I'm going to take over his shit.
So this says in 2004, a photograph of a drowned man bearing a strong resemblance to Le Prince was discovered in the French police archive. The drowned boy resembled... What river is that, Lex?
Seine?
So someone drowned in the Seine River and...
around the same time of his disappearance.
And they think this could be a picture of him. They don't know. Like you said, John, it'd be so easy to kill someone back then. And I was just watching another thing on body snatchers in the same time frame in London, and like when they couldn't snatch bodies from the graves, they would just go out and kill someone.
Yeah, like they say nowadays, the hardest murder case to solve is a random killing. So now you think of all the shit that we have: GPS tracking, cameras, state-of-the-art equipment, and
that's the picture of the drowned guy, and this is a picture of Lily Prince.
That does look a lot like him.
And then this is a picture of that video.
Oh, there's a video.
That's part of the video.
That's it. It's like 4 seconds.
Yeah.
And I think it's this one. This is the lady that died.
Yes.
His mother-in-law.
So I mean, back then, I'm sure it would be so easy to kill somebody.
Yeah.
That looks exactly like him, though. It really does.
So another theory is because he was poor and he had so many debts, he had reason to disappear. But even if that were the case, he was just about to present like the greatest invention of the time to the public. It would make him a rich man, even if it wasn't right away. Why would he
throw it away?
Why would he throw away or commit suicide when the demonstration was just around the corner?
Yep.
Exactly.
And then it goes to none other than who?
Well, another theory is his brother killed him.
Mm-hmm.
And they said his brother killed him. Well, the theory was his brother would have killed him to get the rest of the inheritance money from his mother's death, which is about $150,000 back then. However, his brother was a relatively wealthy man and had the other $150,000, which is like $1 million today. Like, so he really had no motive to kill his brother.
Right.
Unless he was in debt for some reason we don't know.
But that would have bore out by now. Like,
right.
Yeah,
I agree.
What else? What was another theory?
If they found about a homosexual.
According to another theory, Le Prince did stake his suicide because he wanted to start a new life in Chicago after his family learned he was homosexual. There was nothing to support this claim. So,
other than he was from France.
Right. Just because you're from Europe doesn't make it gay.
Right. Those are the 3 main theories, I think.
Yeah, I think that was the 3 main theories.
He, disappeared himself because he didn't want to have to deal with his debt, and he didn't want it to fall to his family, so he just tried to make it look like he died.
Yeah, but that doesn't make sense because he was on the verge of something.
Right.
Everything that's why they think it's not that. That's why everybody thinks it's Edison.
Everything points to Edison.
Yes.
It's all circumstantial. There's no proof.
No.
Right.
But we solved it here. Edison killed him.
Yeah,
yep,
absolutely.
Case solved.
So
next.
Now, in the lawsuits afterward, I guess Gus had 2 boys?
I think so.
Brothers? And one of them appeared in court in the case brought against Edison. And after he appeared in court...
Well, they actually brought a case against Edison?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For killing him?
No, for stealing the work.
Yes. When he came out and said, "Oh, look what I've done," Le Prince's son testified in the suit. He was found shot dead on Fire Island in New York.
Yes, he was also found murdered.
Not just shot dead. But apparently, he was beaten very badly and then shot.
Yes.
All self-inflicted.
Well, this is not the Clintons here.
I was just gonna say it sounds like the Clintons all over again.
So that's the story of my buddy Gus.
He shot himself in the head 5 times and threw himself out the window.
I mean, you could call him Louis because you didn't know him like I did. I call him Gus.
I just think his name sounds cool, Louis Le Prince.
Louis Le Prince.
Louis Le Prince.
Le Prince.
Le Prince.
Well, we solved that one fairly quickly.
Edison is not only guilty of his murder, but his son's murder too.
Absolutely. I think that he killed his son off as well to get back at him for talking. For sure.
Yakety yak, don't talk back.
Yep.
That's right.
So it was an interesting topic to research.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I watched
Love history.
I'm not a big fan of BuzzFeed, but the 2 guys that did the BuzzFeed video on this one, I think did a really good job, even though they're a little goofy.
Yeah, I like them. They're funny.
I enjoyed it. I watched probably 5 or 6 different ones and took information from them all and a couple different websites. But
Wikipedia is a good source for this one. I think all of the information lined up pretty well.
Yeah, it did. Pretty. Sometimes they get too deep into stuff sometimes, and sometimes they leave out some stuff, like with
some weird stuff.
The next topic we're doing, like with the Wikipedia on the topic was horrible. But if you look up the guy, there's a lot of information
about the guy.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. It's a good one.
Actually, good call there, bro.
Yeah,
we'll get into that one. We'll get into that one in our next episode.
No, it's too better than you think.
So, with that, we took on Gus Le Prince. Louis Le Prince.
Louis Le Prince.
We solved the mystery. Now you go take on the world.
Hold on, stop.
Welcome back to the Shit Show 2.0.
Okay, Boomer.
Damn millennials. Wow.
Did not know that.
Even flirters who are obviously mentally ill.
Oh, this is gonna go downhill real quick.